Yeah, before my throat gives up on me, because the entire day it was fine, and now I'm playing with you guys, suddenly I'm having these cough attacks, so I don't know if the word is trying to tell
Well,
me
I'm
something.
sorry.
I apologize.
Oh yeah, I remember where I am. I'm in the middle of a fucking mosh pit.
You were in the middle of a mosh pit, because last time what happened is that you managed to assault the cult camp, as you have tracked them, and because of your fucking ridiculous speed, the fact that you don't have to rest, you have Banner of Swiftness, so essentially you're like fucking speed running through the entire area, and you managed to caught up to them, ambush them, essentially made short work of the cultists and their clockwork companions slash bodyguards. Yeah, Zixos was being thrown into a tree by Zilol. At this point, essentially combat is over, because after you have eliminated the leader of this cult, apparently, that was trying to fly away, the remaining clockworks have been deactivated, so...
Oh, thank fuck for that, because my situation is very precarious.
Yeah, you were tripped, and you are surrounded by clockworks. And I'm gonna say at this point in time, probably Zul would be medium again. So, I've already updated the loot handout, so, because obviously I'm assuming you're gonna be looking over the pockets of the dead guys.
Yep.
So this is essentially the important items that they have.
Imagine us just once turn around and saying we don't want to loot the dead bodies.
We're good guys. We don't loot dead people.
Yeah, let us.
How
You
rude.
you don't want to loot the dead bodies as Azrac starts looting the dead bodies. Fine,
Dope.
yeah.
To be fair, that would be interesting character challenge, as in you are not a... You
We
are
don't
not grave
desecrate the
robber,
dead?
or you're not desecrate the dead.
Yeah, just
I'm just
imagine like
imagining.
Go ahead.
I'm just imagining while this is going on, we zoom into Azrac's base like a Django Unchained, where they zoom in on Leonardo DiCaprio's face and says, "We don't."
Yeah.
That's just like
Fuck me.
no. What's actually going to happen there is most of the party is going to be part of the Night Order, and then like probably either me or Julius, I'd guess, maybe Az would be the squire that follows the night group with a shovel.
With a shovel, like
oh,
it's for burying people, okay?
Like, yeah, I'll help bury those bodies for you. Don't worry, you can go ahead and set up camp.
It's like at the end of the 5th session, the squire is like golden armor, like glowing magic eyes, and a burning sword. Like, what do you mean? I earned this fair and square, guys.
Looting is such a dishonorable thing to do, so I'll get my squad to do it for me.
I mean, that's pretty much how Knights actually acted.
It's like, man, that was a tough fourth fight. Squire, go loot this guy's body for me.
Squire,
Alright.
enter this trap tomb to fetch me my loot.
Well, it's like noble armies. It's like, oh yes, looting the city is too noble for me. But you know, taking a portion of the loot that the commoners take is just taxes.
Wow, taxes really are. It's just public. It's just like legal thievery.
Yep.
It depends on what you do with it, but yes.
Hire more peasants to loot more goods.
Like the classic medieval scenario of, alright, we started out as defending these guys against the invaders, but there's no more invaders, and I really like this money these guys are giving us. You know what? Keep giving us money, and we'll defend you against the invaders.
Sorry, Arthas.
Something protection racket.
I mean, that's literally how it started. That's how the mafia started as well.
So yes,
Right.
we've slain the cultists.
Had a political debate. All right, what happens next?
I guess we continue on.
I believe so. I'm going to quickly see if I have any healing stuff.
They do have some potions of cure moderate.
Oh, do they? Let me have a good look.
5.
Oh, they
There's-
do.
There's
Nice.
5 potions in the loot list. Does anyone need?
They may be a
amulets?
bit singed from the explosion, but they should work.
Any of us need.
I will use one of those. What's the dice roll for cure moderate wounds? It's 2d8 plus something.
That would be 3 for the minimum.
Yeah, because that's a potion. Not a spellcaster.
Wow, that sucks.
9
9?
because
Yeah.
plus 3.
Yeah, I assume he will be taking them, so I didn't put money
Yes.
worth.
So just to be sure, does anyone want amulet natural armor +1, ring of protection +1? Oh, or do we all have those?
Heck, I'm pretty sure I have them.
I think
Been a
we
while.
may all have them.
I would have a +2.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
and an amulet of elemental strife.
True.
Yeah, I have both.
So essentially, the remaining items, assuming you'll be taking to be dissolved into,
Money.
well, yeah, air quotes, money to be repurposed into another items. Additionally,
Exactly.
as you not cover the bodies, you loot the bodies, on the Bloodfire Sorcerer, you actually find a note. And the problem is not about in which language it is written, because between all of you, I'm pretty sure a lot of languages are being covered. However, the note is once again, because I imagine it happened already once before, it is written in a cipher. Or rather, it has a cipher, so essentially it's not like a simple matter of, oh, I open it and read it. If you wish to play with
Do
it.
I have to make a? Can I make a linguistics check to try to decipher it?
Yes, you,
Yeah,
may, you may certainly try. The DC for that is 20.
what's your linguistics?
12.
12, did you say?
Azrak just grabs it and starts reading it.
Dun dun dun.
I'm curious whether or not.
What
I
is
can
up
beat
with this linguistic fucking party? Plus
Jesus.
15! You guys have a book
Yes,
plug in your off time. Oh my god.
That's actually just what we do as we're running from place to place, is we're just like not even paying attention to the scenery. That's why
Yeah.
our perception are so awful.
Like,
Which
Cherok's the
learning
only one
languages.
like paying attention. You keep probing him for like linguistic checks. Like, what's the word in that language? He's like, this runs in the fucking tree. Oh no.
I'm just imagining him holding
wow.
it upside down, and just, yes, I understand completely.
And actually, because yes, you will be fully aware what the message says, so I will ask for one more roll, but not linguistics, but just like general intelligence check to, or maybe actually, can you do a sense motive out of like written message to read between the lines?
Yeah.
Or
for sure.
or connect the dots?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
That's definitely what it would be. Mm-hmm.
Then
Can I roll an
Yeah.
intelligence check instead? Since you're suggesting
yeah, you can go either.
Azrak is literally the leader of the book club. He's the guy who starts all the discussions. It's just- I'm just imagining this pale-faced orc saying, "It's time." Pulls out a small notebook. All right, we were discussing the language of orky last time.
Pulls out these like really small like spectacles, just puts them on.
That's perfect. So,
Alright,
Azrak, what does
just
Azrak
Azrak
read?
gets the guys just like, oh, it's time, everyone. Like everyone thinks he's about to start a fight, and he like pulls out a book and sits down.
Yes, that's perfect.
Everyone,
You need to do that. That's perfect.
Page 122.
Yeah, you just definitely, if you're gonna go and translate, you definitely need to walk up menacingly to the guy you're translating. You slam down a book in front of him. All right, we were saying.
Anyway,
Anyway.
God damn it. Not at you guys. I don't know
Oh?
what's going on. I mean, now seriously speaking, the cough is like constantly harassing me. Anyways, with all of these roles, the leader of the book club essentially gets like a full picture of the situation, at least from this message. Hey, you understand why the cult was going towards the Greensail tribe, because at the very least what the message implies is that sure, Lizardfolk are more or less not saints, not the good guys. They can be cannibalistic, they can be bloodthirsty, they can be warlike, but compared to everything else that you have already seen and the tribes that were blindly following the Wishmaster and basically engaging in this vile, malicious cycle of destruction and carnage, the Lizardfolk are not blindly obedient, at the very least from what it is supplied. They had obviously some sort of contact, because the message implies, or not implies, states that something about a golem gift, and you are absolutely sure that they do not mean the blood golem that was in the camp, but something else. And the cult was going there to essentially ensure that the tribe will answer the call, because the message also implies that because your forces, the Wanderers, they have managed to scavenge as much resources and survivors as they could, and now they are gathered in a single place. Well, that's what the message implies. It is the time is slowly approaching with each passing day, and that the strike, the final like mosh pit, the greatest, the final carnage is approaching. So essentially this tribe was, not this cult cell was going there to ensure that this would happen, that the Greenscale tribe would march to war.
If they were our martial people, then perhaps we should show them our martial prowess in turn.
And
Hell yeah.
one last thing, while the tribe is not blindly obedient, there's also a suggestion. There are some blessed, air quotes, and with those checks you can read between the lines that probably, while not the entire tribe, but there are definitely some that if you look closely they would bear the mark of the symbol that you have been seeing since your arrival here, from the earliest days of this expedition after your landing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if only one of us was to actually cast detect magic on these symbols to see if they're magical tattoos or not.
Yeah, if only we had a spellcaster in the party. Wouldn't that be fun?
What a tragedy.
Such a shame.
Such a shame. Like I know, like, he technically has spells, but he barely counts. He's a ranger. Or no, he's a hunter. I don't actually think
Ambush
he has
hunter.
spells.
Nope.
That's a what, ranger?
Path of War.
Ranger rogue.
Path of War. Yeah, I think
Hunter is a ranger fighter, isn't it?
no, it's the ambush hunter, which I think is the Path of War archetype for ranger.
And it replaces spells, doesn't it?
Yeah, God stances instead of spells.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
You know that
Yes.
extra fire damage that I've been doing all this time?
That's from the stance.
But yeah, I believe, I am pretty sure this is all of it you can get from this piece of information, from this piece of paper, or parchment,
Alright, so-
sorry.
So we could, hear me out, try to challenge these lizard men who has the mark in a single combat, and if we win, we could maybe gain some respect from the rest of the tribe, since they seem to respect strength, and maybe bring them over to our side.
Nero's going to pipe up and go, have you been listening to literally anything that I've been saying?
Not really, but
Then that would explain your ignorance in this regard, because that is exactly what I've been suggesting.
That's strange. Discord and Edge both froze.
At the same time.
Yes.
I can still
Oh,
hear you,
okay.
but yes, I see that you
I
have
just rejoined.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, you disappeared for
I wondered why on Zach's camera he was just suddenly stood in place.
Frozen in fear.
Yes, Zack suddenly turned into the angel from Doctor Who.
Anytime someone looks at him.
Oh yeah, I still stare at Zack, so he froze freezes.
do not blink.
But yes, I suppose with that plan in action, I suppose we're just going to be marching on.
Yeah.
Just one last question, but considering you didn't touch upon the topic, I assume you are leaving the inactive clockworks behind?
I destroy him.
Let's see, what's my knowledge engineering?
Oh, just to be just so you guys are sure, you do not find
BRB?
any controlling device on neither of these sorcerers. Whatever method of control was there, it was pure. It seems like it was purely magical in nature.
No, I don't think I can recontrol their setting for us to be the admins.
Destroy him.
Yeah, with 14, I would say no. Even if like you rolled actually really good high, I would say you would not be able to repurpose them to follow you and aid you, but you could. The most you could do was to basically input, set up destination point, and then make them move in that direction. So, for example, you could have like sent them so they could start walking back to the Point Aquila. But yeah, saying that you are unable to
Have them walk into the sea.
repurpose them, and then I assume Nero starts cutting them down.
Yeah, he just sort of waits for, I assume, Choke to sort of
Yeah.
like stop examining it, and then as soon as Choke steps away, Nero just brings his blade down in front of just brings his blade down against the one that Choke's inspecting. It's like,
I'm just imagining Chirrut kind of inspecting one of the clockworks, reaching down to his back to grab up some tools, and as he goes back up, he sees that there's a sword that stricken through the clockwork golem.
the sooner we get to move on, the better. We best leave our enemies' machines of war destroyed so they can't reclaim them.
Aye, that is true.
Alright, also, because some of you are not at full hit points, do you take a rest to heal up or not?
We shall be marching into combat in just a moment. Better to be well rested and prepared.
Indeed.
Oh.
If we are to challenge this tribe's mightiest warriors, we'd best prepare accordingly.
Well, we do already have some tents put up.
Yes, waste not, want not.
Some of them are somewhat
Drug and crawl into a tent with a book.
Some of them are somewhat torn, slightly torn, some of them are slightly burned because, well, of everything that you are using. But yeah, I'd say that with everything that you have, you are able to get solid 8 hours of rest so that your slightly battered, damaged bodies can recuperate fully and you can restore your, well, resources. So yeah, you can heal up.
Haha.
Which
Alright, and then I'm gonna put you. As before the hours of dawn, you continue your journey. The area that was previously, well, you passed the mountains, then it was like slightly hilly slash foresty area. It begins to turn into swamplands, more or less, which correlates with common knowledge about Lizardfolk. And I have a question as you begin to journey towards the continue your journey towards the tribe, and you are getting closer. Do you attempt any like scouting skullduggery, or do you proudly march in, loudly announcing that you are coming? Or maybe not directly announcing loudly, but like not pretending to hide and whatnot. So, what's your play here?
We would probably gain some of the respect if we walked in the front door announcing we were from the Eternal Wanderers. I'm sure, well, I don't know if they know of us, but anyone proud enough to bear that sign would surely intimidate these
Azrak's
lizards.
just gonna shrug and start walking towards the camp.
Yes, you have the right idea, Azrak. I'm coming with you.
Indeed, he does. If they are a martial people, they will respect our standoffish nature.
now remind me, lizard men speak Draconic, correct?
Yes.
I thought
Right.
lizardmen speak lizardmen.
I don't think it's a separate language.
Oh, okay.
Let me have a quick look.
Yeah,
I forgot one of them is a really
Lizardfolk
separate, really separate language.
speak Draconic also.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know. Does he? And also, that's like a specific question.
No, it's we're not thinking of a cheese that we probably shouldn't do or anything.
Didn't
No, we
put
should
any.
totally do it.
Oh my god.
Let's
Well, if we
see.
have another head slot, we can just always take it off and use it later.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Do.
Okay.
Currently, I'm still at 39, 36 pounds. That's probably because I haven't bothered to input weight on some of the items.
That's fair, but how heavy is your armor?
Or a cochrane.
It's a
what kind of armor do you have?
breastplate of vanishing.
That'd be, I think that's 30 pounds, so that pulls it up to 60.
Yeah, and he probably weighs
mithril
at least.
breastplate, so that's half, so that's 15.
So he weighs 100, probably about 100 pounds base. So I think that goes a bit over 140. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Well, actually, no, that's kind of dumb. He could actually chill inside the breastplate while we move, but that's dumb.
That's actually also hilarious. But no, I think he is lighter than a 140.
All right, then it will be a total of 48,000. Anyway,
Yeah. That sounds like a great investment.
it's a fucking dumb investment, but we'll see. Anyway, with Azrak striding forth, actually, I think all of our party tries to be the one like announcing themselves. We stride inside to the lizard camp.
well, Nero's. I imagine Nero's just off to the side slightly, letting Azrak walk forward.
Uh-huh. Just a small legs try to keep pace. So, what do we see as we venture forth towards the lizard camp?
You find something that alters your expectations. Not alters. Fuck. What's the word I'm looking for? Defies your expectations or circumvents
Yeah.
your expectations. Because
Defies
when you
will work.
hear about Lizardfolk tribe, you probably imagined like a single village, slightly backwards in terms of technology, using primitive tools and basically all their martial prowess coming from their, either nature shamanic stuff or basic tools. here it's quite like at the very several 100 feet before you reach the main camp, as it turns out, because the Green-Scale tribe is not like a single camp of about 30 to 60 Lizardfolk in total. No, this is like an entire, almost civilization of interconnected, very closely built huts, villages spreading throughout the swamp. So, as you proudly travel through a sort of beaten path, obviously mossy, damp, wet, everything you can expect from your usual swamp. On the edges of your corners of your vision, in the swamp forestry lines, you see movement, several, approximately like dozens of various lizard folk observing your walk through the main path towards the main camp. They do not attack, they do not approach. You also do not hear them even talking among one another. This is like almost like, I'm looking for a good analogy, like two predators sort of locking eyes, but basically gouging each other and deciding, at the very least for now, they are deciding not to attack. And even if you like seeing them, even if you like proclaim who you are, from these, and you see these are like, you know, common fodder essentially. Obviously, you are sure that in sufficient numbers they can be deadly warriors even to you, but they do not impede your journey. In fact, if anyone wants to, and it's up to you if you want to have like one person make a main role and everyone else is assisting, but you can make a intimidate check to see like how well you are showing off your badass credentials, like how like impactful your approach is, if you want to.
Who is the most intimidating here? Everyone else is aiding.
I have +9 intimidate.
Oh, I'll aid.
Mhm.
So I only have +8.
I have +2, but I will assist.
Zelo? You are silenced.
Can I assist?
I think we'll aid him.
Yeah.
Just +10.
Should have said. Alright, then
Because he's
I.
not very intimidating.
Wow.
Oh no.
He tries his best, but most
I'm
people
just,
don't even
I'm just
see him.
imagining his six are stuck in the muck as we're walking.
No, Zillow just walks in front of him as he does his cool pose, and nobody sees
Even
it.
better. Even better. Zixis is trying to be intimidating, and Zillow just not even notices and just steps on him and keeps walking.
Dunks him into the mud.
Pretty much.
That's canon. Okay, Zillow, with the assist from the others, even without, because, well, mechanically speaking, your mutagen that makes you large is like time limited. So even without making yourself like a big pig, the sheer presence of your hogginess, or however I'm supposed to say, is quite imposing and intimidating. The Lizardfolk along the way try not to show it, but you can definitely see that whoever is like observing you, they take several steps backwards. So you have observers, but no one even dares to cast like a stink eye in your direction. So with that, I would say that their gazes, if you like spot them, it's less suspicion and more like awe and fear, at the very least from this canon fodder. But yeah, you can see that this tribe in general is essentially, to other players, the tribe is definitely much bigger than this map and a single village that I will show you. I just like had trouble finding like a proper map that would
It works.
give the scale. So with the path becoming less muddy, less swampy, and more like a grassy on a beaten path, you are approaching the main, not terribly barricaded or sturdy looking wooden palisade, but essentially the entrance to the tribe. The Lizardfolk to the sides, having javelins. They are observing you curiously and warily. Their scales and skin tone, or the scale color, is slightly like darker, trying to look more menacing, but for you it's like not an issue. And most of the lizard folks are, the typical greenish, swampy green color. And again, you are surprised because again, what sort of weapons they were. The lizard folk you saw along the way, they had standard primitive weaponry, what you can expect. These guys, somewhat similar, although you see on most of these guys, on the soldiers, because they actually look not like a bunch of barbaric warriors, but lizard folk that actually had drills and actually trained in weaponry. And the most surprising of all, you see that their main weapon of choice seems to be how the fuck do you pronounce that? Axe musket?
They're fucking firearms.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
And worrying.
Being gunned down, boys.
But yeah.
It's like, we want to challenge your leader. Proceeds to die due to firing line.
Pulls out a fucking culverin.
Ah, yes. Imagine Astrak walking up doing a bunch of cool moves. He pulls out a gun and shoots him. He'll be on the other end of this one.
But yeah. Essentially, as you are approaching, they do not aim at you yet, but it goes without saying that they have weapons at the ready.
We continue approaching, walking
Azrak
proudly
will approach.
towards the gate.
He does not fear your guns.
Is there none amongst you a rebel who is willing to parley?
Wow, my roll 20 is lagging like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I also had like issues today when I was like preparing stuff. It took a lot of time loading. What browser are you using?
Edge.
Edge? Huh. So it's like usual. Okay, so as you are approaching, you hear the... Fuck. Lizardfolk have this like guttural reptilian voice, right? Or is it more
Sure.
like a...
They're lizard folk. They're not snake folk. Hmm.
Yeah.
Or just deep and raspy.
Oh yeah, I can't do fucking raspy voice because my throat will kill me. Literally. That's close enough.
Okay,
Who
he does it
dares
anyway.
to openly approach our tribe?
What can I do for you, smooth skin?
Smooth skin. Uh-huh.
Yes, sorry.
Well,
I am
Astrak is
Azrak of the Eternal Wanderers.
the... I'm Sixus. Same.
I am Nero de Costia, formerly of House Costia, now of the Eternal Wanderers.
I am he who walks many paths. I I'm a woodstalker. I am seafarer. I am.
The night.
We all turn to look at you. You have never told us any of this
I am
before.
he. I am he who walks unseen.
That's no wonder we
I
never knew
am.
of those
I
titles.
am he with the eyes in the sky. I am Turk of many paths.
We turn towards Zillow. Probably just grunts in agreement or something.
I am no one of importance.
It's Zillow like leaning up against like a tree, slowly creaking and bending it just by leaning up against it.
Me? I'm nobody. I have yet to watch the movie, but yeah, I don't
Oh,
know if you
man.
like heard about that Bob Odenkirk, kind of like a John Wick, kind of like a comedy action movie.
Oh, I thought you were quoting Odyssey.
Ah, Princess Bride.
Yeah, I guess that too. Okay, your fearless approach and your declaration. In most of the Lizardfolk doesn't really strike a chord. Considering they are natives, it makes sense that they also do not heard about you. But one of them, let's say the one that was speaking to you, that acts like a guard captain, kinda, even though they have like the same stats. Wonders. Ah, the elders were speaking of the unwanted guests, the shipwrecks, that ventured here for bloodshed. What brings you to the doors of our tribe?
Come seeking allies and friends in these places. To guard us against the
Azrak's
dangers.
Just going to pick up Zixus and hold him in front of him.
And success barely good taste. Allies, yes, strong allies, the kind of people who can fight together. You've seen the big spooky storm and the terrors it brings. So,
Yes, the great carnage, the test, who is worthy and who is not. We heard about this, the elders told us. But in the alliance, that's not something I can decide. Well then, if you are so courageous enough to step towards our home with such openly and brazenly, you may step inside to meet with the elders. And you don't need to make like a check. See that he doesn't bother to like, you know, give like a threat, because that's already implied. Yeah. Essentially, you may begin to move in, and as you enter, you will definitely feel many Lizardfolk eyes tracing your forms.
Oh god. Every time we move,
it
it
lags.
makes it worse.
Oh no.
I'm gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure Explorer mode is not active. No, it's not.
I don't know why, but I'm just going to just move myself the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
That's weird. Yeah, the group of four, kind of like a patrolling squad, as you're
Holy
like
hell.
approaching, they more or less make a pass, but they are just, their eyes are tracing your forms. And yeah, already up front, up ahead, you can see at first looks like a golden statue, but connecting that information with the message you read, that's golden golem, that looks like a gift the message was talking about.
Aha.
And if anyone wishes, because Gold Golem actually it is a construct, so if anyone wants to make a check to figure out what this thing can do.
Was it engineering?
I think it was Arcana.
Yeah, constructs fall under Arcana. Yep, constructs fall under
All
Arcana.
right. 19 for success.
I'm gonna 8-6 us.
Okay, well that's strange, but so I checked my task manager, and Edge had a process that was just eating my memory. So I ended it, and nothing is closed. So I have no idea what that was.
Hello, Bitcoin miner. Have you been visiting suspicious sites lately?
Need to stop going to shitty porn sites.
Anyway,
All right.
what do we discover in the
With these checks, so I'll give you 2 pieces of information. One, right now the Golden Golem is inactive. If you didn't know, if you are unaware, from a side it would have looked like a very nice shiny statue made out of pure gold, so obviously worth a lot. However, you know better, and you know that it is like a procedure for it to become active, so this is not constantly being on. And with these checks, mechanically speaking, I can tell you that well, Gold Golem in its like basic form, it's like a challenge rating 15 creature, which has high AC because 30, shit touch AC 13, so that's like a bypass. Construct rates typically immune. To bypass its damage resistance, you need adamantine weapons.
Cluster shot doesn't help.
Cluster shot works.
Yeah, but
So what Clustered Shot does is it just adds all of your damage together and then subtracts the DR, so it's not technically a bypass.
yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, you are not spellcaster, so the Golden Golem is immune to magic. However, this is something that I will probably need like a fellow DM opinion on, because Golden Golem is immune to magic because essentially every spell or spell-like ability that allows spell resistance it's immune to. However, there's one specific thing that might be important because you have Cheriuk does fire damage. Because Golem does something like this when subjected to magical attack that does fire damage. So now the question is, does stances that the thing that Cheriuk does, that does the bonus fire damage, does that count like a magical attack? Because
It
I have...
depends on- It
I
depends
have
on the
no
school.
idea since it merely says that it utilizes the power of the sun.
Let's have a quick look.
It depends on the school.
I believe
Different...
it's at least supernatural.
Yes, it's like supernatural in origin, which would basically be the same thing. But let me check Mystic.
Well, it's
Specific?
Solar Wind.
So, Solar Wind is supernatural. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, Solar Wind and Magic considered to be supernatural abilities. So if you would...
So all we need is Julius. You need to go into cold damage.
Supernatural abilities are subject to the spell resistance, counterspell, dispel magic, and don't function. Yeah, no, it would count as a magic one. But yeah,
Alright, so
I
you
can
know
go-
that there are two like workarounds around immunity to magic, either fire attacks or cold attacks, which obviously cold one seems like a better option if it ever comes up to fighting with the Golden Golem. And one last thing, I won't go into like details, but when it hits with a melee attack, the Golden Golem can do something called Prismatic Surge. So basically from its Bejeweled Scepter, now that you notice that it wields a weapon like that, it can unleash array of prismatic energy. And, I roll for beam color because, yeah, it's again red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and indigo.
It's not a spray, it's a spell.
Yeah, that's just called prismatic surge. And yeah, it has no range attacks and it cannot fly, only like basic movement speed.
So, somewhat off topic. Matt, just a question.
Yeah.
Didn't it perchance turn off Fog of War, did you?
No, you can still.
Like entirely?
No, you didn't. Change?
I mean,
Because I figured out what the process was that was hogging the memory. It was the Fog
Oh.
of War, and when I ended it, I no longer have Fog of War.
really?
That's hilarious.
I mean,
I'll put it in Discord.
I have dynamic lightning and daylight mode active because you're.
I don't have the dynamic lighting. I ended that process.
Huh.
Yeah, sometimes Roll20 fucks up with dynamic lighting. Mm.
Yeah, I don't
weird.
know. Because after last time you said, I deactivated Explorer mode, so that's not
That's
active.
usually the issue, but
Mhm.
I just find it hilarious that it's fixed because I disabled dynamic lighting.
Oh well.
I didn't even know that was possible.
You learn something new every day. But yeah, you may continue your approach.
It's like, I swear I'm not trying to cheat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go grab a drink for it back.
Yeah, same. I need to refill my cucumber water.
Alright.
Zach, what are some good
So-
ways of increasing your speed? I'm only up to 1,000 feet in a round. I've got haste.
Dip of Cleric, Travel Domain, plus 10 feet.
Yeah, it needs to be a horse though, so I'm not sure if I can do that to it.
Is it an animal companion or a straight up horse?
Animal companion.
1,000 feet around?
Hmm?
1,000 feet around?
Yes, there's a
What
once per
the
hour.
Fuck.
Once per hour, an animal companion can move 10 times its normal speed when it makes a charge or uses a run action. Normally,
I'm trying to convert that because 1,000 feet per round, so that's 300 meters per 6 seconds. So that's
300 meters.
So that's 50 meters per second. So that's fucking like I don't know by how much, but that definitely like breaks all the world records for sprint speed.
180 kilometers per hour at that point. That's a fast fucking horse.
I
Felt
would have suggested a Ring of Revelation, but they errated it so that it doesn't work for non-oracles anymore. This ring has no effect if worn by non-oracle, and use magic device doesn't allow a character to gain a revelation from this ring. It used to let you. They had to add that in.
Because it was OP.
Yes. As I say, if you could do that, there's a few revelations you could get that increase speed.
No, I was just memeing with Donut, basically trying to figure out like if we can break the sound barrier. But
Oh
we're
yes,
like,
it's possible. You just don't need. It's just you. You need to do it with jumping, and with character.
jumping.
Yes. I have made a character that can jump high enough that they break the sound barrier.
I need
silly.
Yeah, I need 7 times more speed to break the sound barrier, so I'm a bit off. I think I could probably put a Swift Runner shirt on the horse, but I would only be an extra 100 meters. So
Probably cost double, but yes. Anyways,
yeah, we're waiting for people to return. That's why we're moving
Okay.
around.
I was just making
Mhm.
sure.
Yes. This would have been contained in a Discord chat if it wasn't.
That's Can a horse hold a spear?
Oh,
Let's just
fuck
say, for the
me.
sake of convenience, sure. Mm,
I'll come back.
I have to find it on. Weapons. Unique weapon.
sadly, we're only up to 1,100 feet for the horse. Mm.
Sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fucking Cavalier. It's gonna be my nightmare every time I'm playing with this group. Or rather, with this particular player.
I just put it in Eternal Wanderers.
Look, man, I swear I'm innocent. Mm.
Yeah.
I just put Ooh, did you add Long Strider yet?
Triple short of an acrobatics check. Isn't that an enhancement bonus?
Long Strider is enhancement.
Yep. So it doesn't stack with haste.
Much sad.
You hear, Simon?
Yep.
Alright, then we continue. Mm-hmm.
Boots of Shredding and Springing.
Yep. But I think that's enhancement as well.
That's an enhancement.
Oh yeah, it says it increases its space land speed by 10 feet, and then it says in addition to the Shredding ability considered an enhancement bonus. That's convoluted.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
continue.
Small
We
note
approach.
because I forgot to mention it. Unless stated otherwise, assume the Lizardfolk are always speaking in Draconic. But
Yeah,
I
it just knows that.
didn't mention because I assume everyone knows that. So as we begin to approach one of the Lizardfolks near one of the biggest looking huts, the one that has this huge fuck off trophy hanging above the entrance, a skull of some sort of animal. It says, "War Chief, we have guests." And from the inside you hear this very deep rumbling voice. "Really? Who is brazen enough to visit us?" And then from the inside you will see stepping out the swole boy himself
Big chunkus.
with huge fucking arms.
Here he is. It's your boy.
Well, well, well. Other mortal races used to say that there's a thin line between courage and stupidity. I wonder on which side you are walking.
Both. I mean, what?
Straightforward, wait.
Strut of the line like a famous cowboy.
Top partner?
Yeehaw. No, I mean,
Suppose we should see for ourselves whether it was courageous or foolish of you to sign up with these cultists. As that
We're
is the
here.
very matter for our arrival.
Pokes Zero. We're here to talk about an alliance between you guys and us and our crew and our gang. The Eternal Wanderers.
So you say. And you fancy yourself stronger than the other side?
Yes, yes we do. Six says without any hesitation in his voice.
you were in number we may be. But we are quality over quantity.
Every time we've encountered these allies of yours, they've been felled to our blades.
Yeah, my master wouldn't have chosen this group if he didn't believe in them.
As you're talking, you also hear a second voice. Also, guttural but more slimy. What? What is it? Who? What's this? What did I hear? Why they were not killed on sight? Silence, Jugnir. I am speaking. They are, if they can prove it, amusing bunch. You're kinda nervous, approaches, and if you want to, you may roll perception. Oh yeah, I also like should yeah, because yeah, it's not hard to figure out that this fella that stepped out of the second relatively big hut, that now that he opened the way, as the gust of the wind carries through various smells of ointments, like shamany stuff. I'm lacking any proper word.
Concoctions and
Yeah.
fumes.
But yeah, this one definitely looks like a spellcaster of the group. So yeah, as he still guttural, but he lowers his voice. Lord Chief, remember the gift we were given. And they say there are wonders. You know what they are saying, yes? That they should be killed, and we will be rewarded. And then just the warchief gives him, and you see this, gives him like a narrowed eye, just spares a glance. Gifts from the weaker ones are worthless. Now stop pestering me. I want to see what they are made of. And he like glares at him. Of course, warchief, of course. And then he steps back. Those that rolled. So Zixos, Zilol, Chariot. No, sorry. Zixos and Zilol can make a sense motive check against the shaman. Alright. You are absolutely sure that the shaman is gonna try something. Not right now, but you should be on your guard.
So snap his neck, got it.
Your shaman speaks of gifts given to you by those worthless whelps. Azrak then will motion to the golem. Is this the gift he speaks of?
Indeed! Do you fancy yourself that you can dismantle the full might of this golden construct? The symbol of the wealth that was given to us?
Easily. Gold is such soft metal. It looks nice. It's a wonderful statue. Just the fact that it can move doesn't mean it can beat us. If you want something more substantial, our craftsmen can give you that.
Yeah, I can't laugh, but yeah, the warchief rears back his head and lets out like very long, loud, guttural laughter. Ah, well said. It's been getting boring for a while now. All the carnage happening away from us. Make room, boys. Let's see what these guests, if these guests can bite as well as they bark. And then
I'm just going to pick up Zexus and move him to over here.
yeah, I will give you a moment to assemble yourself, but yeah, essentially, let me.
I was just moving him out of the way of Zillow.
Uh,
Hero draws his blade.
Miro draws his bow, but doesn't go into the regular stance that gives fire damage.
yeah, essentially, give me a moment. I'm gonna move some of the Lizardfolks, and they will essentially mark the borders of. More or less like that. So, while shamans work, you may prepare yourselves. And you see that even though the lead shaman, the one that apparently you heard called Chuk here, is giving looking uneasy. The other shamans are sufficiently cowed by the stare of War Chief, and they are beginning to move into. Now that you look at it, there are definitely vague circles, magical circles being placed on the, or rather, not written, what's the word I'm looking for?
Etched.
Etched on the floor.